The sun is out in West Yorkshire and we are expecting a sparkling encounter today between the Huddersfield Giants and the Wigan Warriors. Warriors fans have travelled in numbers, their side looking to go top of the table again, level with St Helens and Warrington with a win here today. But they're up against a Huddersfield side who've got plenty to prove. They are hoping for their first home win of this Betfred Super League season in 2024. And of course, this could be a dress rehearsal for a Challenge Cup final in a few weeks' time, because they are both facing semi-finals next week. So big games ahead, and very much a big game here today. We've seen plenty of great action so far this weekend. Warrington with a hard-fought win against Hull Kingston Rovers on Thursday night, 20 points to 8. Big wins for St Helens, 60 points to 4 at Castleford, including 52 unanswered points in that game. And Lee with a 40 points to 12 victory against Salford, undoubtedly Lee's performance of the year so far. We got this game here this afternoon, and then a little bit later, back-to-back, straight afterwards. You don't have to go anywhere. You can watch Catalan against Leeds as well. And on Sunday, tomorrow, London against Hull FC. Both of them needing a win to lift themselves away from that bottom end of the table, which looks like this right now. Warrington and St Helens, well, Warrington were top, but leapfrogged by St Helens with their big win last night, and Wigan can join that little bustle of top three with a victory here today. And don't forget, they have a game in hand because of that World Club Championship encounter a little earlier in the year. And Huddersfield needing a win today just to keep in touch with that top six as well. So how are they lining up today? Well, this is how they're lining up today. Sam Hewitt is back for Huddersfield, and he will find himself with a place on the bench. We saw the sending off last week, of course, of Halsall, but he's Wallace rather, but he's okay to play. But very familiar names in a very familiar lineup for that Huddersfield team. Adam Swift, though, is missing the try-scorer extraordinaire because of an injury. Wigan, well, again, it's a very stable lineup that they've been able to produce throughout the whole of the season, especially that 1-7 in the back line. But in the absence of Willie Isa, who's going to be out long-term, Junior and Semba slotting into the back row alongside Liam Farrell, and Dupree, Mago and Havard, who's recently back from injury as well, joining Cruz Leeming on the bench. So Kevin Brown is with us today. Great to have you along, Kev. What are we expecting today? What are the stories of the game?
Thanks, Woodsy. I'm really expecting a quick game and a fast-paced one, and the head-to-head battle between the Australian import Adam Clune and Harry Smith, the number 7 for Wigan. I think both their jobs is to organise and kick very well and get the excitement machines on the ball in Jay Field and Bevan French and Jake and Tuilola here. And whoever wins that battle for me has a massive chance of winning the game for the respective sides.
And they both have that big game next week, don't they? They both have semi-finals next week. You've been in this situation. Is that on your mind ahead of a big game like that on a day like today?
If you ask the players, they'll say no, but subconsciously it's there. You want to get through the game with good form and most importantly a performance, but get through the game without an injury. But what you can't do is you know, go into the game soft and dip your toe in. I'm expecting a firecracker. They'll try and get the job done both sides pretty early so they can get that rest. There'll be no dipping the toe in, like I say, and taking this one a little bit easier.
And we're getting used to the sunshine as well, aren't we? We finally got a bit of sunshine hanging around. We saw it Thursday and Friday, and just the same here today. And by the way, if there aren't any natural breaks in the game, there will be a water break 20 minutes into this one today. I think both sets of players will need that. It's crazy how the season goes through with that different conditions. You can't be a master of one, you've got to be a master of them all, haven't you? The kicking game in the wet, the running game in the dry. You've got to get that all-round game together to be a champion club. You have, and there's been no easing into this game with the weather today. It's gone from cold to very hot, and I think energy levels are going to be paramount. To kicking the ball and being disciplined when you've not got the ball is crucial today, Woodsy. They'll miss Adam Swift, will Huddersfield, because he's been finishing tries, but he's been making tries happen throughout this last season. So he will be missed, but they'll be hoping they've still got enough firepower to trouble this Wigan side, who've looked pretty powerful, but maybe, just maybe, showing one or two signs. That defeat against Hull Kingston Rovers recently, giving all opponents hope. Referee today is Aaron Moore, the man in the middle, and Jack Smith will be our video referee as well. in the vaults to analyse anything that needs to be decided upon. It's going to be Wigan in the light blue who are going to kick off here today. Harry Smith with ball in hand, and Huddersfield in their traditional colours. And I'm pleased to say the man with the drum is not too far away from us today as well. So Harry Smith just settling. Huddersfield against Wigan. It's a game that the locals here would have looked forward to right at the start of the season. They haven't had too many home games this year. This is only their 4th. But in their previous 3 home games, Huddersfield, they've lost each one of them. So looking to break that duck at this stadium this season. And the reason they've not had too many home games while they've been on the road for so many weeks is because the pitch has been relaid. And I have to say, the pitch is looking absolutely superb at the moment, Kev.
Yep. Wembley round the corner. It's not far off a Wembley surface.
Harry Smith kicks. Huddersfield will get first touch of the ball and a first chance to lay a mark, and a penalty with a very first challenge. The arms were up in hope that the referee was going to give that, and he has, and that's an early gift for the Giants.
It is a gift. It's a gift in terms of territory and a relieving penalty. Well, that's the last thing you want to do as a front rower on the first involvement is hit him high, and Liam Byrne there obviously missed a couple of games for the high tackle against Saints already this season. Just needs to get his body a little bit lower, bend his back and get under that ball.
Oh, I think Matty English is okay. He's okay. He's stalked his way back into the defensive line. Referee's just taking his time here. I think he's trying to have some communication with the video referee as to whether this is just a penalty or whether there's further punishment to be delved out here. Ooh.
Who is it, mate?
Well, Liam Byrne is being called out. Well, this will be worrying for Liam Byrne and his skipper. Liam Farrell joining him.
So, mate, you make contact with the head. It's forceful and dangerous, but it's low-level force which puts it to a sin bin. It's 10 minutes.
Well, what a disastrous start from Wigan's point of view. The very first tackle, and Liam Byrne is sin-binned 10 minutes off the field.
Yeah, in terms of energy, that's going to, you know, it's not only the fact that they're down to 12 men and, you know, on the scoreboard, but the work, the extra work now without a 13 full set of complement on the field is really going to deplete them energy levels. So it's just important now that they do start to build a game and get into the game for the Warriors. But what a fantastic chance for the Giants.
Yep, a chance to build on confidence, to lay a bit of a platform here. This is carted in by Oliver Wilson, and they're going to have a couple of tackles, 3 or 4 inside their opponent's half. You fancy here. Connor drops it back on the inside for Nagama. Wigan's defenders numbering up to make sure there's no hint of a gap there. Milner's in at dummy half here, looking down this blind side, and Clune, and just trying to promote things. But Wigan's defence again is smart enough for Rushton to be pinned. Clune again, and here's Lollahea. This is a step and a push and an offload by Kutcho, and they found a bit of space on that left-hand side as well, but Wallace 10 metres out is stopped, but last play. So without Wigan having hand on ball, Huddersfield have got a real chance to attack their line here. They're keeping it alive, still keeping it alive. Lollahea with a kick eventually. Allsall's up there, catches, offloads, but into the hands of Marshall, and Liam Marshall will put the foot down, and if he can find some space, which he has, he's going to be hard to stop here. Liam Marshall will go the distance and will score the opening try. What a crazy start to this Super League game. A penalty and a sin binning on the first tackle. Huddersfield with all the pressure, but it's Wigan who come up with the first points.
Well, the first contact and the first defensive effort was a poor one, but the first time they touched the ball, Liam Marshall goes the full length of the field. That's a terrific play. It looked like Tui Lollahea had landed it exactly where he needed to. And as Sam Allsall goes up, tries to get the offload, but it's intercepted by Marshall, and you just sense that he would have too much pace for Kevin Nagwama and Harry Rushton, and young Elliot Wallace was coming over, couldn't slow him down and get in his way. What a fabulous try from Liam Marshall to start the game. Frantic 2 minutes, Dave.
Well, it's his 16th try of the season, Liam Marshall. Very much in the hunt for that top try scoring accolade. 16 try, I mean, it is incredible. I remember 4 or 5 seasons ago, I think the top try scorer was getting about 20-21. Well, Liam Marshall's already on 16, and we're only a third of the way through the season.
1 minute.
So whoever wins that accolade this year is going to have to score plenty.
Yeah, you can see why he's got 16 so many. He didn't, you know, that was a half chance. I don't think it was a clear-cut chance, and he made it look easy. When you've got that much pace, obviously he's got service inside him, but he can score them on his own, and he'll have a few on the plate for him as well this year, I'm sure.
Time off.
Well, the sight the Huddersfield fans will have a little shiver on their spine, wouldn't they, seeing Marshall go free and scoring like that, and it'll bring back some unwanted memories of that game at Tottenham a few years ago in the cup final when Marshall scored a match-winning try that day, a cup-winning try that day. Harry Smith with a chance to add the 2 here. He's been landing goals for fun this year as well. Adam Kieran's chipped in when Smith has not been available or a little bit off form. So that combination is making sure that for the most part we're going to going up in 6s rather than 4s. Smith settles. The Huddersfield drum is doing its best to put him off. He just rocks forward. He struck it very well. That looks good from the moment it left the boot. And the flags are up, and Wigan do lead here by 6 points to 0.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one for Huddersfield how they approach this now. I'm sure they've had a very well-worked plan coming into this game, but everything sort of changes after, the first tackle and they're down to 12 men. They probably need to go to the middle of the field a bit more and look which side has got the man down. But it's a great start for Wigan. Bit of adversity.
Up to that catch by Bevan French, the only Wigan player to touch the ball was Liam Marshall. And he's a try scorer.
Yeah, if you could start your game, that's how you'd start it, with the ball. Without the ball, it's probably been the opposite. So it's the first time that the Warriors actually have a set.
And Semba with a drive. O'Neill waits at dummy half, looks to his inside, and Thompson's there, ready to run it in with great optimism and power, and Farrell comes left. But he's dealt with on that occasion by Ollie Wilson. And Watson in his usual position down on the sidelines, looking on, very much in and amongst the atmosphere of the game from where he watches. Last play in the set. Smith puts it high. Connor has a look. That ball's drifting. He wasn't sure where he was going, and Jake Connor will be very pleased that he bounces out of play with a tap back on the 20.
Well, Harry Smith almost hit that too good. It was spiralling. We lost sight of it out of the stadium. It went that high, and like you say, Jake Connor didn't look comfortable under that, and thankfully from his own 45-metre line, he's kicked that one dead. It's a 7-tackle set.
Hold it.
So Huddersfield looking to settle a little here. Just played themselves back into the early stages of this game, which has started strangely. The offload from Masters is a pickup from Rushton, and Huddersfield now get the applause of the local fans because they are advancing and looking reasonably good at the moment. Yates with that drive. Milner at dummy half. Clune is to his right-hand side, and in fact has drifted left to try and create a few numbers over there, and a gap is created for the charge of Matty English. Drop back in for Clune. Clune held up on the 10-metre mark, but this is good from Huddersfield. Back it goes to Lollahayer, who puts the dab little kick in, but it's Abbas Miski who picks it up, and now he goes ranging forward again. Just for a minute, it looked like another Wigan winger was going to prosper from a Huddersfield helping hand.
Yeah, and thankfully for the Giants, there was cover there on that occasion. But yeah, another sigh of relief probably, because it did look for one moment like he was going to go the length. But I think when they set up in the middle of the field there and the ball to Matty English, it just really opens the field up. I think they'll probably do more of that, knowing Ian Watson, been coached by Ian. He'll be saying, get back to they call it the 50 right in the middle of the field, and try and attack from there.
Here's Farrell, Smith, and now Ellis, who has been, we say it every week, has been impressive, hasn't he, at the start of this year, Kane Ellis. Big minutes in that central position. French will put the kick high. Connor just moving his body into position. There's bodies cartwheeling all over the place in the background. I think Lollahayer is claiming that he was knocked out of the way, and in fact the referee has given the penalty to Wigan.
Yeah,
Lollahayer on Kieran.
Yeah, he took Adam Kieran out, and you can escort, but you can't change your line of running. Tui Lollahayer there. Aaron Moore, the referee, is saying that he's moved his line. This is a big set now for the Giants. They've got to make sure that they don't let Wigan score again. The opening 7 minutes.
Well, they're going for goal. Does that surprise you?
No, I don't think so. I think the way Harry Smith's kicking them, if he can slot this one over and change the, the lead from 6 points to 8 points, obviously that's a 2-score lead. Especially in this heat, it lets the physios and the watermen come on.
And it runs the clock down on the sin binning as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. So I think it's probably the smart call.
You are just joining us. A reminder that in the very first tackle of the game, around the 30-second mark, Liam Byrne was sin-binned. So since that point, Wigan have been down to 12 men. But they've scored a try, they've kicked a goal, and they might be kicking another one here.
Just here, Jack. Happy.
Depending on the accuracy of Smith's boot.
Yeah, just here, mate.
Showed an awful lot of character, Harry Smith, because he was under a little bit of a cloud of his goal kicking. He's really turned that around now.
They had a goal-kicking coach in, didn't they?
Good input, boys. Keep working.
Last year, Wigan. And that seems to be where the improvement sparked.
1 minute, Harry.
Yeah, and he's one of the most accomplished kickers in the game now. Not just out of his hand, but off the tee too.
Well, he's taking his time. He'll wait. He'll use as much time as he's able to here. And sin binning has about a minute and a half left. Now the referee stops the clock. The Huddersfield fans cheer, ironically. So Smith just rocking forward again. His first strike was very clean and very good, and his second strike looks similar, and it is. And Wigan lead here by 8 points to 0, and it's not long now before Liam Byrne is back on the field as well. So they haven't suffered by being down to 12 men thus far, Kev.
Yeah, and I don't think Wigan have had to play the ball in, the opposition 40 at the moment, and they're leading by 8 points. So they'll be delighted. But Huddersfield just need to keep what they're doing. That's a better kickoff, and I'm sure it'll come good.
Big win against Catalan last week, of course. Wigan getting over that hiccup of defeat against Holkingston Rovers.
Go on, good.
This is Unsemba, and we're chasing after him. A minor dent created in the Huddersfield line. Now it's Thompson who straightens up.
Hold. Go first.
O'Neill and Farrell will take them on single-handedly. 4 tackles gone. They're still midway inside their own half.
Go 4. Defend the back.
Ellis back to French, and then on for Kieran. But they'll be looking for a kick again here. They'll be looking for Smith to get that kick away. It's another one that's high, but it's an easier take on this occasion for Sam Halsall to run it back. Wigan line is good enough, and Huddersfield start 20 from their own line.
Yeah, Huddersfield have been really happy with that set, limiting the distance to 40 metres and making Harry Smith kick from well inside his own half, and Sam Walters bringing it back just before the halfway line.
Got his hand, Kev. Go 2.
Clune picks up. Right, it comes to Rushton. Liam Byrne is on the touchline on the far side. It's seconds before he comes back on the field.
Okay, go third.
Matty Pete looking on will be certainly very happy with a lot of elements of the opening stages of this game. Nagama goes down. Wigan are back to 13 players because Byrne is back on the field. And now a little skip from Masters, whose footwork this year has been excellent. He's been a real danger man, both in terms of striking and providing. 1 play to go. Connor drifts it back to the corner, saw a bit of a gap, and Semba grabs a hold of him and defuses the threat. Just got a hold of him and dragged him down.
Junior, leave it. I've got it, mate, leave it.
What's the referee giving here? It's just a handover, isn't it?
Relax.
Yeah, handover. That was great defence by Junior and Semba. That's the second time they've came back on the angle, looking for players switching off. But the big man there in Semba, he wasn't taking any dummies off Jake Connor and suffocates him and ultimately gets the ball back for Wigan. But what the last 10 minutes would have done in terms of energy for Wigan, even though they are looking really dominant at the minute, the legs will be starting to really tell. The fatigue will be setting in a little bit quicker than the Giants because they've had to do a little bit more running for Liam Byrne being in the sin bin.
So he'll be taking on a lot more duties like that, will he, in the next few minutes, just to repay.
Trying to repay his debt, so to speak, to his teammates, I'm sure.
Ellis to Smith, and here's Farrell. Grabbed a hold of by Clune, quickly played. Smith comes up and looks down this left-hand side, and here's the former Huddersfield man, of course, Jake Wardle, who's trying to cut back on the inside. Huddersfield born is Jake. Smith with a kick high. And up goes the leap of Holsall, and the defence is well timed, but that's real strength from Holsall to prevent himself being pushed back into the in-goal area.
Well, it was great play from both sides. Not only the kick, but when you've got your full-back and your right winger, and Abasmiski's made two and nearly a third there, it just shows you that effort is required, and it's a non-negotiable at this club, Wigan Warriors.
Oh, that's a great offload in the circumstances from Masters, and it's just given Huddersfield a chance to extricate themselves from a very tricky situation. Milner up on the 10 metres, and now with a bit of width they suddenly have a chance, and running free goes Wallace, cutting back on the inside, just opening up this Wigan defence, pushing past another. Wallace has a look, he's going to go himself. This is a sensational try, absolutely brilliant. Elliot Wallace picks a pack. It looked like he was running through a maze with a dead end on so many occasions, but a step and a change in acceleration has got him the prize, and Huddersfield had their score.
And it was such smart play. They were getting bogged down and really, limited the yardage in that set. Tackle 4, and they were still in their own 10. And then it was the quick hands between, I think it was Masters and Leroy Cudjoe to get Wallace away, and it looked like he had the legs on Adam Kieran at first, and he just came back inside, put the ball in two hands, and then from there just showed some absolute brilliant speed to get round Liam Marshall, and probably tops Liam Marshall's first try in terms of individual brilliance. Well, that's just been eclipsed by Elliot Wallace. Take a ball, that's a fantastic try, and needed to get the Giants back into this game, Dave.
Well, he's had a rugby league journey, didn't he? His Super League debut was against Wigan, Holkingston Rovers, a good 5 years ago. But he's been at the Midlands, he's been at Castleford, and now he's at Huddersfield, and he's making a name for himself. And I think the notes there is, don't forget to tell Wallace at half-time how good that try was.
Yeah, that was something special, and they needed that from real deep. We've seen 200-metre tries, and I think this game is really going to open up today. You know, the heat down there.
Connor with a goal. 6 points to 8. And it's a fascinating game, this, isn't it? 15 minutes played. We've had lots to talk about already, and we've still got a good distance to go.
And I think that the work that Abasmiski did, the first 3 tackles, he just didn't quite get back to his place on the left wing, on the right wing, sorry. And that was where the space for Elliot Wallace was. Some sensational tries in the opening 15 minutes.
Happier bench, happier sideline. Wigan restart, Smith with a kick. Easy take. And on comes the drive. It's almost exactly as it was from the kickoff, with a big run forward from Matty English, but no foul on the tackle on this occasion. Here's Cudjoe. Teammate of yours once upon a time, Leroy Cudjoe, reinvented himself, hasn't he, down the years?
He's been terrific. He's been an absolute stalwart for this club. He was a winger when I was at the club with him, and he moved to fullback, and now he's making a fantastic job of a back rower. But not only just a punch in holes, but the way he put that on a plate for his winger there as well. He's got a lot of skill.
Oh, they got numbers here. Clune with a little dummy, tries to just rush his way through. He had support left and right. Milner was on his left, but he couldn't get the pass away because of the defensive efforts that were coming in. But Huddersfield on the last play, and Connor just wellies it up in the air. Miski's underneath it, and Huddersfield's line is not up smart enough because Field was there to take the pass, and again there had just been a rush of adrenaline all around the stadium when Field looks as though he was about to dart.
Well, that was a crucial tackle by Matty English, wasn't it? Right round his legs, because I think he goes the length there. He's got that much pace.
Thompson thundering it in again. Just danced around by 3 defenders, slowed down.
Tackle 3. Mate, needs to get that cleaned up.
There's a bit of blood, I think, on Matty English, is it? Yes, it is. Now, whether this is from the original tackle from Byrne, I'm not sure, but game's going to have to be stopped because of the blood. Or did it come there? Well, he wasn't involved there, so it can't have come there. That's a simple answer to that one. But I think both sets of players won't be too disappointed to have this break here.
No, especially with what's around the corner as well. You know, getting the breaks and getting the water on when you can definitely benefit them come the back end of this game. We was down pitch side before, and it's much hotter, probably 26, 27 degrees down there.
You're looking quite pink, Kev. Didn't have the factor 50.
I have got the factor 50. It's the top of my head.
So we're okay, ready to start, ready to re-go. Quick word, by the way, we're going to break. Good luck to everybody involved in the Leeds Marathon tomorrow, the Rob Burrow Leeds Marathon. Barry McDermott was with us last night, and he's involved, and there's a lot of rugby league stars involved in that. It'll be a hot day, so if you can get along to support them, please do. Liam Byrne is having a bit of a nightmare here. Sinbin with the first tackle, knocked on there, and has just given Huddersfield easy possession. Yeah,
real difficult opening period to this game. He's missed 10 minutes. Now he's coming on, and like we said, he's trying to repay his team. It was a great carry, and he was just trying to get up and play the ball. Just tried to do it a little bit too quick. They had a little fumble there. It's a correct call from Aramo, the referee. It's another opportunity for Huddersfield now to put some attacking play together.
Well, they'll be growing in confidence here, won't they? Here's Masters, who's dancing around, looking if he can get it away, but three defenders say that he can't. Milner wants to pick up and go, and he's going to have a little scuttle here, is Milner. He's a chunky little dummy half, isn't he? Just a redoubtable player, real tough player.
Yeah, real defensive player.
Later on today and this weekend on Sky Sports. Oh, it's French who's caught it, and he's not quite got the initial speed to get away from Clune, and Connor finishes things off with a tackle.
Well, that was an incredible touch by Bevan French, because Leroy Cudjoe is straight through. It's a bit of a gamble there from French, but it pays off. I thought he was going to go the length, but Adam Clune showed a bit of pace himself. Crawl him down and get him on the floor.
This is Ellis. O'Neill stands and waits. Now French, and Sember on his outside. French with the dummy and flashes through. You cannot lose your concentration for a moment. Cudjoe was pushed away, and French is over for another of those breathtaking moments that he often produces.
Yeah, two bits of brilliance by French, and completely against the run of play. It looked like Leroy Cudjoe was going to get one over on French on the opposite end. And then Bevan French intercepts the ball. But you can't underestimate the work that Junior Sember did just outside. Look at Tuilola here when he's just looking and he's interested in Sember, and then he goes straight through French, and we all know how much pace and brilliance he's got once he is through the line. I don't think anyone expected Jake Connor to close that gap. Great bit of play there by Bevan French.
Well, the try scoring has been pretty brilliant so far today, hasn't it? Not too much in the assists column, because they've all owed a lot to individual brilliance. Liam Marshall with that length of the field, Elliot Wallace with his wonderful weaving stepping run, and then Bevan French with a big dummy and see you later and over the line.
Yeah, and it's all about pace, isn't it? The three tries have all had, huge amounts of pace and acceleration right at the heart of them, and when it is really hot, and about 20 minutes in, it's when the fatigue really starts to hit these big forwards. Expect even more brilliance from these X-Factor players on both sides.
I will do, mate, yeah.
And we just saw Ian Watson there. It has just been two individual moments that have unpicked his side so far today.
Yeah, I honestly think that Huddersfield are right in this game, and they've probably been really unlucky not to be in front on the scoreboard, because like you say, it's been against the run of play twice and a penalty for the kick. But Wigan are that good that you only have to give them a slight chance and they will make you pay.
So Harry Smith looking for goal number 3, and this time no. This time no. Cheered by the Huddersfield fans But 12 points to 6. Wigan lead this game with 20 minutes play.
Yeah, we've not seen much from Bevan so far in the opening 20 minutes, but when he comes to life, he doesn't show us the talent that he's got. I expect Jay Field to do something similar, and Jake Connor as well in the next 60 minutes. It's important now that Huddersfield just get back into this game and don't go away from what they've been doing, because it has been working.
French's 11th try of the season, trying to keep in touch with Liam Marshall, who has 16. Jay Field's a long way back. He's only scored once this year.
Yeah, I think defences are really you know, on high alert every time he gets the ball, but that is creating opportunities for the rest of the team. And I think the amount of assists that Jay Field has got, along with Bevan and Harry Smith, right at the top of the tree in terms of statistics.
O'Neill, inside it goes again, and Ellis, who just seems to be like a machine going forward, takes Wigan to within 10 metres. Huddersfield regrouping back on the halfway line, and Bevan French is outside the 40 when he kicked that, and I think he's going to go all the way here. Is it? Yes, it is. Jake Connor's happy to see it bounce out, and that gives Huddersfield a slight advantage in terms of getting this ball back to the other end.
Yeah, that's something I've been really impressed with Bevan French since he's moved to the standoff position from fullback. His kicking game, and normally has the ball on the string. On that occasion, just rolled a little bit too deep, giving the extra tackle. Jake Connor will be thankful it did, because it was 10. It was a wall of 10 blue Wigan players coming down chasing him.
There's Nagama. Lollahea coming right. Rushton, Harry Rushton, one of 2 or 3 ex-Wigan players in the Huddersfield ranks today. Milner switching it back left again, just driven in by English.
Go third.
Lollahea now looking to try and create something, pops it back on the inside, and Masters is on the search.
It's looking really dangerous, Ethan Masters, every time he gets the ball, beating players.
There are some outstanding centres in Super League this year, aren't there? He's one, and you know, Wardle and Kieran on the other side.
Yeah, and this man's not too bad either.
Yep. Commentator's curse as he stumbles to the ground. Halsall back to the middle, and Clune puts it high. Field's going to travel some distance. It's knocked on by Kieran, and there's another fumble, and it's a touch by a Wigan player in an offside position, and a penalty here for Huddersfield. And you'd imagine 6 tackles to have a real go now.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be taking the 2 on this occasion. Adam Kieran put under a lot of pressure by Jake Connor, and Junior December, he had to get on that ball because Matty English and Leroy Cudjoe was loitering with intent.
So here comes the first smash, led by Yates. Platform set. They can build from either side. Milner goes to Clune. Back to Rushton now. Rushton trying to push his way through, but back he goes. So here comes Milner to try and direct something else again. Wigan's line comes off quickly as Clune goes left once more, but Wilson pushed but pincered. Milner back to Lollahea. Here comes Connor. He can make magic happen, can Jake Connor, and he's very nearly done that.
Well, that's a terrific tackle by December.
It's with Lollahea. The pass is terrible. Farrell drops on it, but Wigan's defence was offside. Liam Farrell and Harry Smith. So another penalty. It's another set, effectively, for Huddersfield.
Yeah, and it was a really good set up until the poor pass execution from Tui Lollahea, just letting him down. But they'll do something similar, and I'm sure it'll have Jake Connor all over it. Adam Clune, Jake Connor and Tui Lollahea combining to pull the strings.
Well, firstly on his drive. Another set of 6. Another set of 6. Here comes potentially a bit more fancy Danism, but not from Luke Yates. He's not that kind of character, is he? He's just straightforward and honest. And now Lollahea rushed into by Farrell. Farrell's wrestling all over him, slowing him down, bringing him down, with a little help there as well. Picked up by Milner. Clune now, looking for the line, looking for the footwork. O'Neill grabbed his ankles to stop him running, and Wilson lost his footing to stop him running. Milner, Lollahea, out to Connor. Connor with a little jab, Miski's after this, and the ball beats them all. Not the very well-weighted kick that he was hoping there for Connor.
Yeah, if he could have his time again, I'm sure he'd keep hold of that ball, the third tackle. If you you are going to kick the ball on the third tackle, you've got to make sure that it stays on the island, so to speak. Not only have they turned the ball over, they've also given away 7 tackles now. That's a really relieving kick by the talented fullback for the Giants.
Smith coming left. Wardle wants to go. O'Neill. Ellis just popping it back, and is that Ethan Hubbard who's on the field for the first time?
Yep.
Today, slowly getting himself back to absolute full fitness after his long time away with that hamstring injury. Ellis is taking it in and having a look and thinking about the offload, but gravity takes a hold.
Goal 5.
It's back with Smith.
So 5.
And now Field with a kick to the corner that's, well, even Liam Marshall's acrobatics couldn't rescue that situation.
Yeah, and again, it's almost a role reversal. The fullback for the Wigan Warriors this time. I thought the pass was on to Liam Farrell. It looked like he was just going to do a soft dance, but he kicks the ball. I think if he passes, Liam Farrell walks through the line. It's a real fast pace to this game, end to end. The line speed's just starting to dip off from both sides now, Dave.
Seb Ikahahifo on the field. He involved there. His whole soul. He's crossed some distance to get himself involved in the game as well. Masters just throwing the ball back, hopefully, to keep Wigan's defence honest, because they've still got work to do. Milner on the halfway line. This is Lolohea. Kudjo cutting back towards the middle. Couple of plays to go in this set. Huddersfield 40 away. Here's Clune. He's running to the line, keeping them guessing all the way. Is it going to be a pass or a step? Milner again. Last play. So Connor again is tasked with the kick. Field's got his hand in the air, I think, to shield the sun, but it's Marshall who gets across there to take it. But it's a difficult starting position again for Wigan.
Yeah, much more patient approach there from Jake on that occasion. It wasn't about competing for the ball, but all that pressure they built, the pin's been popped, pop the balloon, all that pressure released because they are offside.
So, penalty.
Yeah, not far from
Again,
no, we're good, mate.
everybody just taking their time here. There's a constant flurry of water carries coming on, isn't there, in individual circumstances. It's that kind of a day.
I think both coaches will be talking about discipline and just probably ending the sets a little bit better.
This is O'Neill at dummy half. French across the line with the pass.
Goal 2.
Ellis snapping on the inside of Kudjo, but Huddersfield defenders ready for him elsewhere. Milner on that occasion. This is O'Neill stepping a long way left, just nibbling Wigan back inside their opponent's half. Smith to French, and French again just threatening to explode through the line. It was Milner who got a telling tackle on that occasion. Now it's with Harry Smith, who tries the kick. It hits a boot, but it's not played out. Not played out. I think Harry Smith was anticipating another set. The referee said no, and Huddersfield get it back.
I think he's been quite unfortunate there, Harry Smith. Couldn't see the referee either, so he did what he thought was best and keep hold of the ball. But how good are Bevan French's feet? You know, when he puts the dancing feet on, it's almost a forward's worst nightmare. 29 minutes into the game when you're fatigued and, you know, your lungs are screaming and your legs are bleeding. And you've got Bevan French coming at you with all sorts of pace and, you know, movement. It's a real difficult task.
I feel like you're having a moment there, Kevin. A little bit of a flashback memory from your playing days.
Yeah, it was never great.
Golding on the field at dummy half. Connor kicks. No, he's behind the 40 when he lets that fly. This could be a very good kick. It needs marshalling, and Field is tidy enough. And Marshall will bring it back, but plenty of time for that Huddersfield chase to get up there.
Yeah, still a terrific kick by Jake Connor, right into the corner. You know, the next best thing, not a 40-20. Get him pinned right in their own 20.
Escape, riding a couple of tackles here, giving himself a chance to have another go.
Move, square up. Goal 2.
Havard, who's leaning on the field. It seems only like a couple of minutes ago that he was making his debut for Huddersfield. I think he scored with his very first touch when he made his debut for Huddersfield as well on this field. Very much in Wigan's ranks now. Bevan French with a kick downfield. Come up. What a bit of a slip from Jake. But up he gets and tries to get away, and he's done a very good job of that. He's done an excellent job of getting a bit of distance between him and the goal line.
Does really well. Such a strong carrier. I think he could probably carry the ball more in backfield. He's a very strong man, quite a big fullback too. Just palms his opposite, Bevan French off.
Oh, that's a straightforward drop by Elliot Wallace. The groans you heard from the Huddersfield fans tell their own story, because not only do Wigan get it back, they get it back in prime territory here.
Well, if there's an area on the field that you do not want to give the ball to, you know, the X-Factor and excitement machines of French, Field, Wardle, Marshall and co, it's this position. Bang in the middle with space both sides. To keep you guessing, you can see Jay Field stood right behind the scrum, and he'll choose a side really late, creating an overlap.
6 tackles to have a go. There's an argument to say this very first play is the most dangerous of them all. Smith has done this a few times actually, Harry Smith. It's almost like he's using those flash dance players behind him as a foil and hoping defenders switch off. That's got to ground. It is a drop, and Huddersfield survived that, and a cheer of relief from the Giants fans.
Well, I think both sides have been excellent in patches, but also poor. That's Tyler Dupree's first involvement in this game, but it was the lead runner who was in front of him. I think it was Ethan Havard. He just mistimed his run. The pass went behind him, so that was probably what you call clunky, and a real let-off for the Giants.
So again, big gulps of fresh air being taken in before this scrum is set and then played. Masters. Golding back in there at dummy half again, and working his way past a couple of defenders, and there was just a hint of a possibility on the outside there, but Wigan's defence doing a job.
Ash Goulden will be relishing this. One of the fittest players in the competition, you know, energy-wise. He'll be up for the task today. Anything quick, he'll be off.
Laura here with a pass away. Yates goes smashing in again, and it's a penalty for Huddersfield, which will take them much closer with 7 minutes of this half remaining. This is a real chance for the Giants.
This is where you've been working on a plan all week, you know, from your set starts inside the opposition. Everything will be done on the training field, put into practice now.
Ika Hehifu claims some ground. Golding goes out of dummy half. Lola Hare's there waiting. Greenwood comes charging on again. Relative freshness from the bench, and it has been clumsily lost.
Well, I think that's a tough call on Joe Greenwood. It looked for me like the ball was stolen and it went backwards. I don't think the tackle was complete, but big opportunity missed.
Well, there's a Wigan player down injured. You might have heard there. It's Wardle, but he's going to be okay before this scrum is fed.
Heads in, boys.
Aaron Moore, the referee, is making sure everything's as it needs to be.
Don't go early. Shot clock off.
Before this scrum is fed. This is Mago.
Move. Ball, boys.
Here's Leeming having a look around. It's Marshall. Leeming again. This time the bigger players are having a go. Ethan Havard with a twist and a turn. Is it a case of building confidence again for Ethan Havard after those hamstring injuries he had at the back end of last year?
Yeah, definitely. He was just starting to, I don't think he was far off international honours, and just really starting to get going, and then, you know, the injuries just slowed his progression down, but he's a terrific player.
Mago pops one over the top. Huddersfield's defence has advanced, but it might have left a few holes on this left-hand side, and Wardle's doing his best to take advantage of that. But who should be back there to rescue? Ika Hehifu.
Terrific play by Ike. It looked for all the world that Jake Wardle was going to glide through and find a pass or a kick to Jake Field on the inside. You mentioned Jake Field only scoring one try, and he would have thought that would have bounced up. But as he put the ball on the toe, it just rolled sideways, which just didn't allow it to kick up. And Sebi Kahifo, terrific energy and effort there by the big man.
Masters away and Golding takes it on. Lollahea, a dummy half. 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes of the half remaining. It has been absorbing so far, this game, hasn't it? In the heat, they played with terrific energy. Lollahea will run and quick hands away, and Masters looking further left, and well, it was kicked but not played out. Kicked by Wallace, not played out by the Wigan defender. So this is going to be Wigan's ball again.
Yeah, there's opportunities all over the field at the moment. You know, Leroy Cudjoe showing his brilliance once again with the quick hands, getting Wallace away. That left edge for the Giants is really threatening with Masters, Cudjoe and Wallace. But it was great defence by Kieran and Miskett.
Marshall with a push.
Goal one.
He's leaning at dummy half. Now Farrell. Cruz leaving. We've heard the story so many times, but it's always worth repeating every now and again. Named after the fact that he was conceived on a cruise. Cruz leaving. And that's a true story. It is a true story. Good job his parents weren't on a coaching holiday, isn't it? Butlins would have been good, wouldn't it? Butlins leaning. That's got a ring. But Wigan are in great position here, 30 metres out. This is leaning. It's back with Smith to Field, and Farrell joining in as well. Just mobbed by a host of defenders. Leeming looks left, but then comes right, darts to the centre of the field and throws a long pass that is into the hands of Kieran in the end, and Kieran's dabbed kick through, and Lollahea wasn't sure whether to stick or twist, and in the end took the safety option of putting it out of play.
Well, it was great vision and deception around the ruck there from Cruz Leeming. The execution at the end of it, I think if that pass goes to Hampton, December or Kieran, there's a try. It bounced, but Kieran summed the play up beautifully well. Tui Lollahea just couldn't get out. 2 minutes 20 to go till half time. This is a real big set for the Giants.
10 seconds.
Big smile from Jake Connor. You'd expect nothing less, as he takes as long as he possibly can before eventually kicking it downfield, and Leeming will catch. And Dupree will lead the charge. You could see him picking up the paces, and Golding almost toppling over backwards in a somersault. Cartoonesque.
Yeah, it was like a
back collision, and
bang.
Referee just asking Ash Golding if he's okay. And it's Dupree who looks like he's comes, well, he has very much second best.
I think it was head on head, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
What about this? It was a big carry, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll just see what.
Bang.
It just shows how tough the players are. Both players just get back on the feet. Ash Goulding does a roly-poly. Tyler Dupree just wipes the blood off his face. And they'll be hoping both players haven't got any concussion symptoms, because obviously with the big game next week coming up.
It's going to be a head injury, isn't it? Head injury assessment. As you say, they'll be fingers crossed that Dupree is cleared for that. Missed one of their big men for the World Club Challenge, didn't they, when Luke Thompson was ruled out with a head injury assessment. So they'll be hoping that Tyler Dupree passes this one. 15 minutes to pass it, and that includes half-time. It's real time, not game time.
I think it's really good that the refereeing now showed a bit of common sense. We saw at the start of the year that people were getting sent off for that kind of thing. It's an accident, contact sport, it will happen.
There was a bit of gloom at the start of the year with all that disciplinary issues at the start, and the heavy rains and the heavy pitches, but the sun is out now in so many respects in this Super League season. And here's Mago, who's travelling and pushing and still going. He might go all the way here. Well, he has gone all the way, but he's held up, and he'll go back to 10 metres to play the ball.
Really careful there. Carried him 10 metres here, very close.
This is Hubbard. Ethan Hubbard dances in. Up plays. Leaning goes right, Smith wider still, the pass is poor, Miski collects it, and Bevan French with a wonderful turn and a slip pass away as well to keep it alive. Across comes the closing arms of Nagama to make a telling tackle there, but Smith picks it up again, and it's as that hit Masters. Yep, he's played it. The referee said he played it. Otherwise, it would have been a try for Nagama at the other end.
It's been a frantic minute. I don't think he knew anything about it. He definitely hit his shoulder, but I don't think he knew anything about it, Dave. He was looking at the tackle. There was three or four attackers on his inside and outside. As Harry Smith throws the ball, he's got his head down. He knows nothing about that.
And then it's a penalty for Huddersfield. Well, that is going to be the last play. This penalty is going to be the last play of the half. Strange start to the game, strange finish to the half. And Lollahea kicks it out of play, but it is a wonderful spectacle so far. We have seen 3 magnificent tries. Liam Marshall with that second minute 80-yarder, and that came after Liam Bird had been sin-binned. Elliot Wallace with a wonderful individual effort to get his side back in it, and then Bevan French with another wonderful individual effort to give Wigan that lead at half-time by 12 points to 6. Sets it up wonderfully for this second period. Both sides will draw so much that is positive out of that first 40 minutes. We have seen so many moments to catch the eye. It all started with this. Liam Marshall going the length of the field. We'll be analysing it all after this break.
Sky Sports is bringing you 50% more sport in 2024. Introducing Sky Sports Plus, serving up brand new live streams and a dedicated channel. Watch your EFL team over 20 times next season. Over 100 tennis tournaments. And every men's Super League match. All as part of your subscription. Sky Sports Plus. More sport, more choice, more than ever before.
Yep, Sky Sports just got even better, bringing you over 50% more sport this year with new live streams and a dedicated channel. Introducing Sky Sports Plus, launching this August and at no extra cost. And every match from the Men's Super League, as you know, Rugby League, Super League, and 100 tournaments from across the tennis world as well. The US Open, the ATP and the WTA Tours. The EFL, you can watch your EFL team over 20 times a season live on Sky Sports. And you can enjoy over 1,000 live EFL games, including every Carabao Cup fixture. Fabulous stuff. Just more to enjoy in the months ahead. And we're enjoying this today as well. Wigan Warriors leading by 12 points to 6 at half-time, but it's a game still very much in the balance. And Kev Brown, we've had some real eye-catching moments in that opening 40 minutes.
We've had some individual brilliance. We've had some, drop balls and some errors as well. And I think, that's going to happen when the temperature is so hot. But at the start of the game, Huddersfield were trying to make the most of this extra man, and it was a great kick by Tui Lollahea and a terrific catch. But then, unfortunately, one of the last people you want the ball to drop to is Liam Marshall. He's got speed to burn. Kevin Nagwama couldn't, close the gap. And Elliot Wallace, we've seen how quick he is. Makes him, they try a little bit wider, but it was a sensational solo effort by Liam Marshall. And Wigan have got a few people who can do that here in the team. Jay Field, Liam Marshall, Jake Wardle. On this occasion, the quick hands by Masters and Leroy Cudjoe just set Wallace off. And for any young kids looking to play the game, look how he puts the ball in 2 hands over and over, showing the dummies and giving him that space. But it was the speed and the quick hands from Cudjoe and Masters to set him off. And I thought it was a real smart bit of play for him to come back in field. He could have probably gone and got tackled but they needed that, the Giants, to get them back in. I think that was 8 points to 6 at that stage. And then a bit of brilliance by Bevan French. He shows the dummy and he makes it look so easy. He's done that time and time again, shown a few occasions. But I think what Junior December did there, just to put Tuilola here in two minds. We'll get a reverse angle of this in a moment, and you can just see the disappointment on Tuilola here's face when he turns round. You know, he realises that once he's through that gap, that the race is done. 3 terrific tries, Woods it.
Well, these are the stats, as we say always, the telling stat at the top, but all very close and equal there, isn't it? Completed sets, not as many by Huddersfield. Their percentage is down on Wigan's, but meters, Wigan slightly up on that, not much in the tackles. 21 missed tackles by Wigan, 13 by Huddersfield, and an error count of 5-3.
Eastern Masters has made a few of them missed tackles.
Well, it has been eye-catching, it has been wonderful. We've seen some fabulous tries. There's more to come with the second half coming shortly. Well, welcome back. We're enjoying a fabulously sunny day here today at the John Smith Stadium, and a great game as well. There's another one coming up straight after, Catalan against Leeds. That is going to be immense from Perpignan. And then tomorrow, London against Hull FC as round 11 completes, and both those sides looking for a valuable win third way through the season. So this has been fabulous so far today. Loads of energy, loads of sparkle. Huddersfield 6, Wigan 12. And 3 great tries to pick out as well. Marshall and French for Wigan, and Wallace for the Huddersfield Giants. Liam Byrne sin-binned in the very first minute, and then it all went a bit crazy after that. But it's well set for this second half. Kevin Brown alongside us today. It's not an easy one to call at this stage as to who are the favourites to go on and get the 2 points here.
No, it's not, and I think the scoreline is reflective of the game, but I think what that doesn't show is, you know, the 10 minutes that they were down to 12 men, that really could come back and bite them on the backside, so to speak, later on in the game. You know, we've seen how many times that players have been clutching water and hands on knees. It's a real fatiguing one today, and there's a lot of fast players and an openness to this game. I think come the back end, if Huddersfield can stay in touch, they might be confident that they can go on with this game.
Well, the one question mark hanging over Wigan at the end of the first half was Tyler Dupree going off with a head injury. We'll hopefully get news as to whether he has passed or failed his HIA. And as soon as Wigan come out, well, if he comes out, we know he's passed. But the 15 minutes are very definitely up, and that will be a little bit of nervousness. And in fact, it has been confirmed he has passed the HIA, so he'll be relieved at that. Not that Wigan lack depth in that area for that semi-final next week, but they'll want all the depth they can have going into that semi.
Yeah, and Tyler Dupree, since he's arrived at Wigan, he's played in all the big games, he's won all the trophies, so they'll want that man. He's a great front rower, brought off the bench today, and I'm sure he'll figure more in this game in the second half.
Well, out they come, and there he is, Tyler Dupree, just to confirm that he's going to be okay, because he's straight on the field for the start of this second period. Well, Huddersfield Giants have got a lot of positives to pick out, haven't they, from that first half? And how much importance will they be putting on the fact that they haven't won a home game yet? They've only played 3 at home. It's not exactly disastrous, but how important is it that they get that duck broken here today?
Oh, I don't think they'll be speaking about that much at the moment, Dave. I think what they'll be saying is, look, we've got to start this second half well. I think both coaches will be saying that. You know, they both probably started pretty poor, you know, with the sin-bin and then, you know, conceding a try for the Giants. So the start of this second half, I'm sure, is what both coaches are speaking about.
Jed Connor gets us underway. It's caught by Field, and Ethan Hubbard will lead the drive in the very first instance at the start of this second half. Some team news for you, a little bit of team news. If you missed it earlier, Adam Swift missing for Huddersfield today because of injury, but the wingers have done well, haven't they? Especially Wallace with that try that he scored in the absence of Swift.
Move. Harry, 10 meters.
This is Cruz Leeming at dummy half for Wigan. Mago just on an angled run to try and find a bit of distance, but they're ganging up on him, and three of them putting him down. So here comes Leeming again as they come towards the end of this set, and Dupree went searching for the angle behind the ruck. Dragged down, last play. Smith again, puts it hard, chases on, but it's been dropped. It's been dropped by Hulsall, and Wigan have it back again.
Well, 5 big carries then, a patient kick, competing kick at the end. Just gets them the ball back. They'll be really happy with the start there.
Well, they scored a try in the first half with barely one touch of the ball. They'll be hoping that now with this repeat set they can maybe advance their lead still further. Havard putting the footwork on, but running into a brick wall. Dressed in claret and gold. Leeming to Smith. Smith puts it back, and French is getting involved, as is Field with a miss-out pass, and Marshall just picks an easy pass back to the middle. It's his second. I think it took him about a minute and a half of the first half for him to score a try, and in a similar time scale he's scored in the second half, and he's given Wigan a real advantage here now. Yes,
similar time but completely different type of try. This one was more of a team try. The 1, 6, 7 and 9, Field, French and Smith, sorry, all combining fantastically well to get the space by Marshall, for Marshall, and it was the beautiful soft hands by Jay Field at the end. As we see the replay, 6, 7, 1 and 9, all combining well, and then the lovely floated ball. And we've seen time and time again that Liam Marshall, if he gets half a chance, already 2 tries in this game, he can go the length, and if he needs to jink his way over from short distance, he can do that too. Terrific start by Wigan. Power game through the middle, get behind the kicking game, give them the opportunities to play, and when they get them opportunities they do know how to take them, Dave.
17 tries. He's doing the maths. I think this is only his 10th appearance of the season as well, Liam Marshall, so he's scoring them in clusters, isn't he? And here's Harry Smith with a chance again to add another 2. That's a body blow, isn't it, from Huddersfield's point of view? Yeah, and that's probably the first time that they've been really exposed defensively, I think. Well, apart from that, individual brilliance has took over, Bevan French and Liam Marshall, but on that occasion they were picked apart by some beautiful handling play by the half-backs. Like you say, that is a body blow. I think Liam Marshall will be confident that he can kick on and get his third as well. So Smith settles. We heard Salford fans last night in defeat creating a real racket and atmosphere at Lee, and it's the Huddersfield fans here who's watching their side losing at the moment. That kick goes over, so 18 points to 6, but it's the Huddersfield fans who are providing noise here as well to try and lift their side. And they need some lifting here. They do. And you mentioned before that Jay Field hasn't scored as many as we usually see him, but he put another on a plate there for Liam Marshall. I think that's the development in Jay Field's game. When he does get shut down, he can be the provider as well as the scorer. Havard with a big blast forward again. Stopped fair and square on that 10-metre mark. 2 sets of forwards coming at each other at real pace. Well, they've had their half-time words, both coaches, but whatever they've said, dynamics have changed a little at the start of this second half, quite early. Leeming. Mago. Short pass for Nsemba. Strong legs from him. It's like they've had a complete reset at half-time and said, look, we are just going to go through the middle of the field. Cruz Leeming waits again. This is the last play coming up in this set. So it's to Smith, who will kick. End over end. Connor covering a bit of distance to get himself safely there. Plants his body, waits for it, tackles, but then has a look at that umbrella of Wigan defenders coming his way. Yeah, you can already see the fatigue. 5 players struggling to get back for the Giants. They've just done 4.5 minutes defending.
Ash Goulding and Sebi Kahifo still struggling to get back in the line.
He's had his hands on his knees, hasn't he, Sebi Kahifo? There's Goulding at a dummy half, in fact steps over it. The old dummy from dummy half, and Masters hoping to catch the Wigan defenders cold behind there, but they read it well enough. Goulding flicks it back towards the middle. Here's Connor and Nagama. Dragged down, one play to go. Huddersfield still a distance away from where they want to be, so Clune puts it up in the air. There's claims that Wardle got to him late, but the referee says play on, and Field catches, and Wigan start from there.
Yeah, great set, wasn't it, by the Giants to move the ball at the end of the set and then come up with a kick. It was borderline from Jake Wardle, but in my opinion it was legal.
Marshall takes it in. Smith stands, delivers the pass. Here's Miski, the outside backs, lifting the labour from their bigger blokes in the middle. Leeming and Havard steadily and sturdily striding in to the challenge that awaits. Leeming waits again. Now it's Smith. Back to Field. Field chiming in from full back, brushes off Clune, but Clune's back for another go, and he wins the contest.
He's been great defensively, Adam Clune.
Smith steps away. It's a scruffy kick because of the pressure. And now here's a chance for Huddersfield to put themselves on the front foot in this set.
Yeah, it was Clune. He wasn't just happy with making the tackle on Field. He got on his bike and put Harry Smith under great pressure, which gives his side a chance now to put some attacking play. They've won a penalty too by the carry by Horsall.
That really helps, doesn't it?
They need to be the side that scores next. Got a great opportunity now.
So Lollahea will find touch, and the tap will be about 5 metres inside the Wigan half, so a set inside their opponent's half. Kahifo will lead the charge, puts his back into it. It's another yard or two as a result. Goulding waiting here. Back it comes to Lollahea. Greenwood shoulders in and drives it forward. Goulding again. Connor's just standing to his left. I think he's just sent a message that he wants the ball, and he gets the ball, but then immediately throws it back to Goulding, and Goulding on to Lollahea. Lollahea with a flat pass. Just threatening to punch a hole, but Wigan holding firm for the moment. This is Yates. Spin off Mago.
Problem for Mago.
Hurt himself there, hasn't he? Here comes Connor again. Wigan a man short in defence. Connor's pass is a little ragged, and it has gone to ground. It's picked up by Miski, and it's a good job that Easton Masters had got a hold of him in the first place, otherwise he would have been flinging himself free.
Yeah, and they're not far off, are they, the Huddersfield Giants, but they keep letting themselves down and then compounding it with ill discipline.
Mago's going off. Luke Thompson is coming on.
Yeah, it was the footwork by Luke Yates that just got Mago in a tricky position. Jay Connor just trying to thread the needle. I think Elliot Wallace, he just got to dive on that ball and kill it, because we've already seen how dangerous they are on the broken field, Wigan.
Tyler Dupree finds the ground 35 metres away, 25 metres away from where they want to be. Thompson, who's just reappeared onto the field in place of Mago. Another carry. Leeming. Now Smith. Short pass again, and Dupree's lost the ball as he tries to push his way through.
Yeah, great defence by Cudjoe and Yates, and it needed to be. We said they've got to be the team that score next if they're going to go on and win this game. That's a disappointment for Tyler Dupree. Clearly over the head knock. Trying to get his arms free, I think, to get the offload to back to Harry Smith. Spills the ball.
10 minutes of the second half played. You can see the heat. You can see the body language. It's a draining afternoon in Huddersfield. I'm sure it'll be a hot one in Perpignan later as well for that game, Catalan Leeds. Time of the year when teams are drawing on fitness more than ever before. Goulding goes left. Step again back on the inside. Golding's back there at dummy half.
Hold it, Tyler. Ball 2.
He's going to have a go himself here. When you say he's one of the fittest players in the league, how do some players reach levels of fitness beyond others? Because, I mean, they're all...
Well, some are naturally gifted. I've played with quite a few players who didn't need to do anything, and they were the fittest in the team. Ashton Goulding's one of those lucky lads. That's a great carry.
A wonderful carry from Masters, and Kieran's climbing all over his back. And a wonderful response from the Huddersfield fans. It's moments like that that can really lift a side. Cudjoe stepping back. They're on the last play, but they're only 12 yards away. They've earned a position to kick from here. Lollahare will put it up there.
Great kick.
Up go the arms, and it's a very good take, very solid take by Kieran.
It was Jake
Wardle, rather, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great take, wasn't it? It was a fantastic kick. The referee's making him go back and play the ball. But again, good finish to the set by Huddersfield. This is exactly what they need to do to get themselves back into this game.
Leeming wants the ball played, wants to have a go. Here he goes. Scuttling forward again. Penalty.
Tip tackle.
Through the horizontal. Penalty Wigan. Mood lifter for the cherry and whites in sky blue.
Yeah, and they just keep letting them out, don't they, Huddersfield? That's the second time they give a penalty away. Relieving penalty, and there's only so long you can do this for and defend your own half against such a quality outfit as we've got in the Wigan Warriors before points start to leak.
Just feels like something might be brewing here. Farrell dumped down. Thompson's just going to put the ball in his big hands and have a run. Pushing them back another 10 metres or so. Leamy's got French to his right-hand side, and that's the way he goes. And here comes Miski arriving from the wing. And Sember on hand just in case there was an offload, but there wasn't.
Moving forward, goal third.
Leeming. Smith.
Still third.
And now Havard, and Havard spinning out of the attempted tackle from Hewitt, and still we can keep it alive. And this is Bevan French with a step, and then that exact acceleration, and my goodness, he wasn't far away, but in his efforts to get over the line, he's lost the ball.
He is human. Some of the stuff he can do is just supernatural. The way he bounces off his feet, he's almost got springs and rockets on the boots. Beats people for fun. I think it was Tui Lollahare who came in and just shut him down at the last minute. He reaches out as he rolls to score the try. Great decision, great positioning from the referee, Aaron Moore. I think Huddersfield need to start moving the ball. When they're running into the tee for Wigan, they're just getting swallowed up, and it's really easy defensively for them. I think when they move the ball and they get the likes of Cudjoe and Connor involved, they look threatening.
He's got that rare ability to go from naught to very fast in the blink of an eye, hasn't he, Bevan French? There's not too many rugby league players that have that. There's some quick ones, but his acceleration is prolific.
You see the fear in the defence. When he gets the ball, Jay feels the same. When he gets the ball, there's almost a gasp of, oh gosh, hope he passes this.
Cudjoe. Just going out to Ika Ahifo to try and barge his way through. Working their way downfield, fatigue setting in. Cudjoe again. Back to Clune. Rushton is just about on the halfway line. So Golding on to Clune, and Lollahare and Connor quickly dispatches it, and Masters can make things happen, but not when Wigan's cover comes across as efficiently as it did. Wallace. Connor will put it high. Field is underneath it and catches it very well in the circumstances.
Brilliant take, but I think that's the way that Huddersfield need to go. Move the ball. Eason Masters was tackled well, went close to the touchline, but they did get a 20 to 30 metre gain in territory, which made them an attacking kick on the back end of that.
26 minutes to go as Wardle takes it in, and it's Wigan who have the upper hand at the moment, but that can change in the blink of an eye. Huddersfield know that. They'll be desperate to make sure they don't suffer any further damage before they can get themselves over that goal line. Leeming goes skipping out. Lollahea's wrestling with him. Leeming somehow gets away, and this is Kieran who's tackled. And Wigan inside their own half will be kicking here. Smith gets that left boot on it. Golding trying to get close. That's a safe catch by Halsall on that right-hand side, and here comes the return, and Huddersfield start 12 away from the halfway line.
Yeah, that was a really good defensive set. Kick pressure was fantastic as well. So the signs are good now. Just need to build into this game. Matty English comes back onto the field.
Game's coming up from Huddersfield, as you can see there. Warrington in the semi-final is what starts that run. That's a huge game next week. And plenty of Super League points up for grabs after that. Lollahea dancing in.
Go for Tyler's out the play.
This is Masters. Masters with a short pass. Matty English came crashing onto that. Wilson was on the right, but it's gone to Clune. And here comes Connor, and Connor off the side of his boot just chips it over there. Halsall gets up very well, but there's plenty of Wigan defenders to make sure it doesn't turn into anything more dangerous.
Yeah, I think he second-guessed himself there, Sam. Also almost a carbon copy of the first 2 minutes when he went up and offloaded the ball. On that occasion, he chose to catch it and go down with it. Not a bad place to turn the ball over.
I was going to say, it's another big set here, isn't it? If Huddersfield can just pin Wigan's meterage down, if they can keep them to having to kick inside their own 40 in this set. But that's a big ask, because Miski comes flying out.
And defensively, they've been terrific all day, but it's been the discipline that's allowed Wigan to march down the field.
This is Thompson. That's 4 tackles. They're only just short of the halfway line. Leeming comes out of dummy half and spots a little bit of a room in which to run. Bobs about, bounces off defenders and eventually down. Another set of 6. Well, there's the indiscipline again.
Yeah, and it's on the last tackle, so now that's not only the territory, but that's going to be 12 tackles on the bounce. Criminal.
Leeming to Smith. Fields in there, but it's Dupree who carries it.
Oh, boys.
This is Farrell at dummy half. Flings it back to Smith, back on the inside, and Wigan just beginning to boil here.
Go third.
Leeming, Smith, French, dabs it to the corner. Oh, and Abbas missed it. Well, it was a difficult bounce, but you'd have put money on him scoring that. But the Lebanese international can't keep a hold.
He almost had too much time there to sum it up. You know, when he catches it off his bootlaces with a split second. Bevan French just looks like he's got days on the ball. Probably a little bit hard. But that could have been game, I think, if Abbas Miski gets that, scores the try.
Well, we've still got a game on our hands. Warrington, Huddersfield. Not sure Warrington came from Huddersfield. Hanging on here. Halsall sinks to the ground. The Giants back towards the right end of the field as they look at things. Kutcho with a short pass. Push again. It's a good carry on that occasion. Back with Lollahea. Lollahea now inside for Masters. Masters looking for the trickery. Held on to by 2 Wigan defenders. So in comes Ashton Golding. Clune sizing up the line with the run, and Lollahea. One last play. Oh, it's lost, and it's just a clumsy lose as well by Lollahea.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Unforgivable in the circumstances.
It is, because you can guarantee that Jake Connor and Adam Clune were concocting a kick, you know, to put pressure on the Wigan Warriors. It was a nice bit of play, but then unfortunately for the Giants, Tui Lollahea, he was trying to get up and play the ball. He just slips out of his grasp, which once again just relieves the pressure. I'm sure Ian Watson, he'll be content that there's still points in this side, but what they can't do is keep turning the ball over so sloppily and then giving penalties away on the back of it.
Well, just looking down there seems to be a collective body language of being drained both sides, isn't there? Players who really are running on fumes at the moment.
December's not running on fumes, he's running over the top of Sam Hewitt.
He's got a full tank as Junior.
Yeah, this is probably the toughest period of the game now, where you know you're 20 minutes into the second half. All the energy you've expended in the first half starts to tell too. This is where you really need to, you know, help your forwards out like Bevan French is doing.
Injecting a bit of energy and excitement again. Slow up, Leeming. Smith. Field. And they're creating a bit of space here. Holsaw got a hand on that, so it'll be a restart.
And he needed to. If Liam Marshall gets that, I think he goes in the corner.
This is Farrell. As a Wigan's game's coming up, the neutral game at Doncaster against OKR next week, and then Salford away and Warrington away and Cass away. Bit of work going on, I think, at the Brick Community Stadium, as we should call it now, having had a name change this last week. Local charity, anti-poverty charity that it's named for. Wigan creeping closer. Leeming, looking left, Field now. Back towards the middle, scampering away from one attempted tackle, and Bevan French just comes right in time, on the right angle. A sway of the hips, a push of the accelerator. He's in again, and Wigan are in again.
Well, the connection between Jay Field and Bevan French, it's almost telepathic at times. We often see Jay Field scoring off the back of something Bevan French does, but this time it was Bevan. And Jay Field was the provider. He just skirted across the line. He finds a pass. It was beautiful deception by Leeming. He skirts across the line and then bang. He hits the hole, Bevan French. And Tuilola here couldn't stop his opposite number from scoring the try. Beautiful bit of play off the cuff. Both players are very, very good individually, but when they combined, sensational viewing.
12 tries now for French this year.
I'm sure Matty Peter will be thinking about which players he's going to bring off and rest at the back end of this game with the Titanic clash next week. And if he can score another try, I think he'll be happy that this one's sealed up.
Well, Tyler Dupree's just gone off. I think Brad O'Neill's coming back on, while Harry Smith just prepares himself for this kick. That's interchange 7, I think I saw on the big number board they held up. So he's not got too many options, has he, with the interchanges running out. Here's Harry Smith with a kick. Over it goes. 24 points to 6. They will field their home and host here, Wigan. Huddersfield will be hoping in the 17 minutes that remain they can get a foothold back in this competition.
Well, this is a dangerous time for Wigan, because when you've got Jake Connor and Adam Clune on the field, you know, you're throwing Tuilola here as well. When they're made to play, they can open up even the best of defences. So this game isn't over, Dave.
So what do Huddersfield do here? How do they change things, or do they change things?
Well, they've got to take a risk. They've got to start. The scoreboard's obviously against them, and the clock with 17 minutes to go is against them too. So they've got to start moving the ball and taking some more risk. Obviously, that can, you know, lead into negative impacts as well, but they've got to do that now.
And I guess tighten up the discipline as well, not give away 6 against and penalties.
Oh, that's a given. They can't give any team, but the quality of Wigan, you know, we've just seen time and time again, they'll hurt you if you give them chances.
O'Neill plays, leaning out a dummy half, running out, but not past Hewitt, but he just squeezed it out, and here's Bevan French again, threatening to wreak havoc, and Field now takes it on, and Farrell puts himself in that hole as well. Warble, and it's going to be a hat-trick for Liam Marshall. Brilliantly crafted try from Wigan. From the heart of nothing, they've created a bit of glory, and Marshall gets his 3rd of the day, and That's what they can do to you.
And that's it. It came from absolutely nothing. Bevan French gets the ball off an offload. I think it was by Cruz Leeming. And then from there, it's all bets are off. Whatever they've called, everything goes out the window. And it was a combination of French to Field once again, and then Field to Farrell. Cruz Leeming made the initial dart and dint in the line, and he found an offload, sucking in 3 players. And then like a flash, it goes to the left-hand side of the field. Farrell to Wardle. I thought Wardle summed it up great. He saw that he had Liam Marshall outside of him. And a hat-trick of tries. I think that's his 18th now. You can see why he's such a prolific scorer with the service he's getting provided from his inside. Beautiful back-to-back, coast to coast. And that is the game now for me.
Well, everybody in that Wigan move played their part perfectly, didn't they? In creating and supporting and providing the end result for Liam Marshall.
They just look like a very well-balanced side, and everyone knows the role. This is a very, very good side that they're dismantling defensively in the Huddersfield Giants. Got threat on both sides of the field and in the middle.
So Harry Smith, he's had 5 attempts so far today. He's kicked 4 of them. So his percentage rate is pretty good. Wigan fans just saluting their players as they return back to that end of the field. Meanwhile, about 80 metres on the other end, Harry Smith wants greedily another 2 points for him and another 2 points for Wigan. And the touch judges have to shield their eyes against the sun, but then raise their flags, and the 30 points is reached by Wigan. They lead by 30 points to 6.
And you've got to say that Huddersfield, they don't really deserve to be on the end of this scoreline, but you've got the quality, get half a chance, and they don't just score 4 points. The way that Harry Smith's kicking as well, he's knocking everything over to 6. And this game has just got away on the scoreboard now from the Giants.
Well, we have seen quality from Huddersfield this year. Their big win against Catalan in the Cup was one that caught the eye. And all their wins have been away from home. At Lee, at Hull, at Castleford, at London and Leeds. But it's home that is proving a problem at the moment, but they're up against a quality side today.
And it's really important now that they don't just let the heads drop and allow Wigan to finish this game the same fashion that we've seen the last 5 minutes, because confidence is key going into the Cup game next week.
Here's Leeming. Smith away again, and they're looking again down that left-hand side, and Jay Field is causing a problem for those Huddersfield defenders.
Go for
Leeming inside to O'Neill.
in the back.
And French, got a touch, it'll be another set, and Semler will just drive it in, knowing that he doesn't have to create too much, but in saying that, he is trying to create, and Kieran back inside. Remember, this is the 0 tackle. French, oh, that is simply magnificent. That is unbelievable.
Wow.
It's a touchdown by Cruz Leeming at his former ground, but the flick pass away from Bevan French was something out of the magic circle.
It was
sensational.
There's things that people do on a rugby field that most players can do, or a lot of the top players can do, but what Bevan French does, he's out there on his own in the world of rugby. The way he can change his pace off both feet. The ball off Bevan French initially gets knocked down, and then Julian December finds a pass to Adam Kieran. Kieran finds the pass back to Bevan French, and then it's the world-class talent of French. He just goes off his feet and then bang out of the back door. Quality play.
Well, there's a bit of a gasp from the crowd. I think to spoil the atmosphere, one or two Huddersfield fans thought that might have been a forward pass, but I think it was fairly certain it was flicked backwards. But Bevan French is putting a one-man wonder show on here today.
Well, he's being backed up pretty close by Jay Field as well. The fact that they've both livened up in this second half, there's no coincidence that the scoreboard starts to blow out. When I came to the ground today and I saw the conditions and I saw the field, you just think if they were race horses, it suits them perfectly. The going's good.
Harry Smith, 5,334 here today. A lot of Wigan fans in amongst that crowd. They would have enjoyed what they've watched for the most part today. The side have been troubled rarely, and Harry Smith adds another 2, 6 out of 7, and the score expands to 36 points to 6 now in Wigan's favour.
Yeah, the last 8 minutes has just been mayhem. It's just been try for Wigan. But this one, a French, you can watch over and over again, and I can see why the Huddersfield fans would think it was forward, but it definitely comes out of the back of his hand. The flick pass, Cruz-Lehman will enjoy that. Like you said, against his former club, he's really found a home at Wigan now.
Well, they have an ambition here, Wigan. They might not have a conscious ambition out there on the field, but they are level, of course, with Warrington and St Helens with winning this game, which surely they will do from here. But they'll be on plus 168. St Helens are on plus 175 in points difference. So Wigan need to score another couple. They need another 8 points to go clear of St Helens at the top, which I suspect is an incentive that has not been put out as a message amongst those Wigan players, but Wigan fans will be desperately hoping that a week off from the Super League, their side can sit atop of the Super League.
Yeah, and it's against their arch rivals, the Saints, as well. But they're having fun out there now.
Smith, little kick over the top, Fields chasing after this. The bounce, oh, that's forward. That is forward. O'Neill, basketball style, just directing it.
The plays today.
French clearly ahead of him.
Yeah, you can see how confident they are now. They're flowing through.
It's a scrum, boys. Adam,
Brad O'Neill, he's having an exceptional game. He started at 9 and now he's playing a loose forward role, similar to what Sam Powell does at the Warrington Wolves. I think that's probably the next step for him. You know, playing big minutes and playing at the same time as Cruz-Lehman.
Rushton is going off. Not looking too healthy. It's that Luke Yates who's come back on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Heads in, boys. Make sure you back.
What's in it for Huddersfield here with that Challenge Cup semi next week?
Don't go early, boys.
Well, yeah, you've got confidence, you've got pride to play for. They've been well beaten today, but I think you know, performance-wise, they've just been beaten by a better side, and sometimes that happens. But what you can't do is give in. I think there's still 10 minutes left in this game where, you know, they can take things into the game next weekend.
Golding out a dummy half. This is Clune. Confirmation of the attendance there today. Connor brings it back. Lollahea has to be quick. Just went behind Masters, which makes it a more difficult starting position, but he's making a mockery of that start with the way he's trying to end it.
He's been a shining light for the Giants today. I think every time he's took the ball in, it's been a real headache for the Warriors.
Well, they are creeping closer here. Golding. Clune to his right. Yates to his left. Beauty or the beast, really. And it is the beauty he selects, with Clune putting the kick up. Marshall underneath it. That's a big climbing take by Halsall, but then in trying to keep it in play, he's lost it, and Field is going to be tackled with Wigan back in possession.
That's something that Wigan do brilliantly, Dave. When they don't get the ball.
Oh, Marshall's burst through, and here comes danger because he has support, but he might not have heard the cries coming from on his inside shoulder. But Wigan have not done yet because they're flooding forward again here. And here's Bevan French, and he's got Junior and Sember as a winger, and French is going to try to do it. In fact, he fell over the heels of Eason Masters.
I think this could be a yellow card.
Accidental, the referee says, which might means Masters escapes a card.
Got some contact there.
But it is a penalty nonetheless.
I think Eason Masters has saved a try there. If that's an accident.
Hold it, boys. Wait a second. Wait a sec. Wait.
For me, he was caught, turned up, and then he kicks him.
Yep.
I think he's got away with it.
Would he have known what he was doing there?
Definitely. He knows what he's doing. That's not a natural running style. I think he'll probably end up in the bin here.
I'll explain it to you.
Let's have a listen to the referee.
You flick your leg back up on the inside, and it's not in your natural range, so that warrants 10 minutes.
He's off. He's off the field for the rest of the game. It's only a yellow card, not a red, but it's as good as the other, because that's his game done today, and Huddersfield will finish the match with only 12 players.
Yeah, and he's been Huddersfield's best player today by a distance, but no, completely agree with the referee. When you see I think it was his right leg come up, he doesn't actually trip, he kicks him in the midriff, and it's a complete unnatural style. I think the referee's got that perfectly spot on. We would have to say this is going to be a tough 7.5 minutes now for the Giants, not to concede any more points with a rampant red-hot Wigan side.
Is he off, pal?
Well, they're still waiting for Issa Masters to actually trudge off the field. He's off the field now. The referee wasn't looking. Is he off? Is he off? Not looking. But he is off now, so Wigan can carry on. Looking for more points, looking to get closer to St Helens' points difference at the top of the table. And there's Cade Ellis just threatening to pop it off, and Field again was anticipating a pass that would have led to try-scoring glory, but it didn't come. Smith, he'll put a kick on for Nsemba to chase, and it's not a bad kick, because although Wallace was always favourite, it was always going to be a case that Nsemba makes sure that he doesn't get out of the in-goal area.
Full of energy in the 73rd minute, such a big man. You could see that he was the one who was asking for that kick. Harry Smith, perfectly weighted, added even more pressure off the goal line dropout.
Connor's kick. This is Byrne. Solidly taken back. Leaning. He's got O'Neill waiting, pawing the ground. O'Neill there, he desperately wanted to get on that. And this is Ellis again with another decent carry. There's some big men around him, but he's still making good progress. Leaning. Smith. Right to the line, and French, and where's he going to do? Oh, it's a wonderful pass. He's providing all the tricks today, Bevan French, and that was a bullet pass to make it an easy walk-in. Abbas Miski, the scorer. Huddersfield clearly short of a man down that left side of their defence, and Wigan just keep rolling and rolling here.
And the best passers of the ball are the best runners, because it was a 3-on-3. I know they are down a man, but they were numbered up perfectly well. I think Elliot Wallace was just looking in at the man. And Bevan French, he just changes his tempo. It's a beautiful bit of play. Changes his tempo and then finds the pass. And Wallace is just watching to see if Bevan French is going to run the ball. It's a very similar pass to what he came up with in the World Club Challenge. Straight on the chest of Abbas Miski for the try. Previewing this side must be a real difficult task for any opposition coach, because they have got quality all over the field, they've got threat all over the field, and you cannot just, you know, concentrate on Bevan French too much, because Harry Smith, you know, the hookers, and Jay Field in particular, they'll expose you on the opposite side.
1 minute, Harry.
Well, if you're an opposition coach playing against Wigan in this mood, on this kind of a day, on this kind of a field, sniper in the crowd would help, wouldn't it?
That's one way of stopping Bevan French. Almost have to put 2 men on him, but even then, he can beat you with a run or a pass or a kick.
Harry Smith was just advised by the coach to bring the kicking team back a metre or 2. Referee stops the clock. 8th kick here of the day. 6 out of 7 so far for Harry Smith. He's into the 40+ goals for the season range at the moment. It's a healthy return. Wigan fans have loved their day out in Huddersfield. Smith. Little glimpse at where he wants this ball to fly, and then head down and sweep off the left foot, and the referee says yes, yes, yes. The flags go up, and it is 42 points to 6 now.
I know we made a point on Harry Smith's kicking game before, but he just looks so composed and comfortable now. He's really found his position in this team where he's happy to be the provider. He pulls all the strings from the centre of the field. And the magic happens outside of him with French, Field and the rest of the playmakers.
So Wigan closing in on that St Helens points difference at the moment. They are now plus 174. St Helens plus 175.
Move! Don't go early, boys! Do not go early! Go 2.
Leaning. Here's O'Neill. working hard.
Do not go early.
Get his team downfield. He's left Golding on the floor as he gets up and plays the ball. This is French again. Bevan French again is tantalising all those around him with a kick downfield. Jay Field's chasing it, but the recovery is good from Clune, and Huddersfield have it back and breathe a little sigh of relief. Bevan French is he's playing in his own world today.
Yeah, absolute magic. Everything he's doing, he's summing it up quicker and smarter than everyone else on the field. And the kick, what I would say is in defeat, Adam Clune, he showed a massive amount of energy and effort in a well-beaten team today.
Hold it. Go first.
Here's Yates, the embodiment of honest endeavour.
All the way, Cruz. Hold, boys. Go
20 short of the halfway. Connor pops it back on the inside again. Here's Golding. There's a few spaces beginning to develop, and Lolohea tries to exploit that with a dash forward. Gets himself out of a couple of attempted tackles and takes them on again. Golding. Connor. Sticking it high. Field's got a keen eye on that, and he's not in the in-goal area, but that might not matter because he's running it free here. And here comes Bevan French, who's taking off, and French sachets away. Oh, and just an ankle tap from Cudjoe stopped something sensational again.
Wow. Well, take a bow, Leroy Cudjoe. It was a link-up play once again, but it's not over.
This is Miskey. Miskey's going to waltz in. It's like watching seven-a-side with almost a complete number of regular players on the field. It started with Field in his own in-goal area, and a tackle later, Wigan are scoring at the other end.
Well, the transition is something to admire. Jay Field got the ball. I thought he was actually unlucky not to catch the ball in the in-goal. It was a perfectly timed kick from Jake Connor, but then the chase was a little bit broken. We said that there's fatigue out on that field. And then the hands, they find Miskey in the centre. Junior December outside of him, and he throws the dummy and scores the try under the sticks to make it 46 points to 6 for the Wigan Warriors. Terrific second half performance.
So by my maths, that is a score that takes Wigan top of the table. I didn't pass maths at school, by the way, Kev.
I'm not going to trust you on that.
We'll wait absolute confirmation from the experts, but that is my adding up and taking away.
Don't go back at me if I get a towel off you. 1 minute.
180 points. Wigan's plus points difference now, if this kick goes over.
With a game in hand as well, it just shows how well they are travelling.
Although that game in hand is against Lee, which at the start of the season is a different proposition to what it is now, because Lee look as though they're sparking into a bit of life.
Yeah, buoyed by a terrific performance last night, especially.
There's Smith with the kick. Well, it has been, from Wigan's point of view, utterly breathtaking in the second period. 12-6 they led at half-time. We talked about a game in the balance. Well, the scales have tipped dramatically in this second period. That is 36 unanswered points by Wigan in this second half, and a lot of that is down to some just individual sensational brilliance.
Yeah, I think the man catching the ball, it makes that look easy too.
And look at that, with a pass away to Field. They want some more. Here's Marshall. Marshall's being pushed back to his own in-goal area. It's a bit of showboating at the moment from Wigan, but why not? Huddersfield looking to close it down. Is there time for one more try in the 10 seconds or so that remain? Smith gets the pass away. Surely Luke Thompson's not going to go 80 metres. No, he's not. Forward pass. Forward pass. Referee was right on line of that, as was his touch judge. Called it early. And that will be the last play of what has been a super Wigan show in that second half, Kevin Brown.
Well, in terms of 40 minutes performances, I think that's probably the best I've seen from any team all season. The way that they just combined with threat all over the field, backed up defensively. They came out real hard-nosed, Dave. They didn't just move the ball at the start of the second half. They were, penetrative with the runs through the middle of the field with the forwards, a patient kicking game, really sucked the energy out to the Giants, and then when it started to open up, showed the brilliance of what they've got time and time again. Perfect performance in the second half from the Warriors.
Well, we're going to be catching a word with Bevan French shortly, because Kevin Brad, it will not surprise you, has named him as the player of the match. 2 tries for Bevan French today. But you'd say it was 2 passes that you would come away from this game with the best memories of from Bevan French today.
Well, every time he touches the ball, you're just thinking, what's he going to do? And he can do anything. His pass, his kick, his run is probably the best in the competition. And when he's in that confident form, it's almost like he can't do anything wrong. And his passing game, like you mentioned, was sensational. He scores 2 world-class tries. But for me, the pass of the game was the one out the back door to Cruz Leeming. You know, the game was already done then, and it was almost an exhibition piece. But Bevan French, the player of the match, the Betfred player of the match, and very, very well deservingly of that award today.
Well, he's going to be over there very shortly. What do Huddersfield take from this, briefly?
Not very much. I think if levels are, you know, down on where they need to be, when you come up against these very top teams, you get beaten, you get beat convincingly.
Well, we're going to be chatting to Bevan in just a moment, but just a reminder of how it finished today. The hard facts of what we've just seen. Sensational, 48 points to 6. It's a score line, and we wait to have this completely confirmed, but by my reckoning means that Wigan are now back top of the Super League. A hat-trick for Marshall, 2 for Bevan French, 1 for Leeming, 1 for Miskey, but both of those provided by French. Huddersfield had the consolation of scoring an eye-catching try themselves with that one from Wallace in the first half, but undoubtedly this was all about Wigan, all about their entertainers, and that's why they've won here by 48 points to 6. So let's hear from Bevan French right now, who's down there as the Betfred player of the match, as adjudicated by Kebrad. Bevan, you played that game with a smile on your face. You put a lot of smiles on a lot of faces of people watching. How much did you enjoy today?
To be honest, it was the smiles all came out in the second half. That first 40 was tough, considering, you know, we went down to 12 people in the first 10 minutes. They had all the ball, and then, you know, first time playing in the heat, knocked everyone around a little bit. So it was enjoyable, but still a lot to work on there, especially with our starts, with something that has let us down, and you know, quite a bit this season.
We hear about sports people being in a zone. Did you feel as though you were in that zone, you personally, in that second half with what you produced there?
Yeah, like I said, in the second half, probably it's pretty close to it. There was still a few things that I'd like to work on and fix up. You know, it was all good with the ball. I think we had, you know, we had majority of the possession of the ball there in that second half, and but even there was times there when we defended, we probably let them off the hook with ill discipline and missed tackles. You know, in particular myself at that right edge there. A few second phase plays on our edge that we got caught out a little bit. So in the zone, definitely with the ball, I think we're all sort of connecting, but still things to work on as an edge.
What gives you the greatest pleasure? Is it scoring the 2 tries you scored, or is it you producing the pass you did for Cruz Leeming and then the pass you did for Abbas Miskey? Which is the greatest thrill for you?
Probably passing. I don't have to do as much. Even the last run there, I think the field opened up a bit there, and I looked down, and that try line looked a long way away, so I'm glad I got caught.
Big game next week, of course. Big semi-final next week. You're in good shape for that?
Yeah, it's you know, everyone's excited for it. You know, it's a different breed of rugby league, isn't it? You know, knockout competition, and a lot of lessons to take out of this one, in particular that start, like I mentioned there. We definitely can't afford to do that next week. You know, and put ourselves on the back foot, especially with the calibre of players that they have there in their squad. So, very big challenge, and I think we're all looking forward to it.
Well, Bevan, go well. Congratulations on your performance today and your Betfred Man of the Match award as well. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
So Bevan French departs, and I think we're going to be joined by Matty Peat very shortly, but here's some of the magic that we saw today.
Yeah, and this was the Liam Marshall second try of the game, and it was a team try, finished off beautifully well by Liam with a jinking run. What a fantastic bit of play by Field, French, and Harry Smith on the inside of him. He doesn't need an invitation, Marshall, to score the try, and that was just a sign of things to come. I think off the back of this was the Bevan French first try. He just hits the line, and he's just got too much acceleration and pace. He's very, very well balanced. He doesn't, he doesn't weigh a lot, but he's very, very strong, let me tell you. And the combination, we mentioned the telepathic combination between them two. They grew up playing touch footy, and you can tell once there's any sort of fracture in the line, French and Field know that they need to punch in there, and that's what got them points today. And then they went back to back, didn't they? They were red hot, and then this was Liam Marshall's next try. Came to French, he puts on the afterburners, and that combination with Field once again, through to Farrell and then Wardle. And it was that man, Liam Marshall, scoring his third try of the game, going round Jake Connor, really putting the game beyond the Giants at this point. It was the offload by Lehman, who sucked in 3 players. And then French and Field, they absolutely love, any sort of chaos in the defensive line. That was something that I used to hate when you played against Wigan. If you had any missed tackles, they almost go up a couple of gears and they make you look silly. And once Marshall gets into the clear, we've seen time and time again, not just today, but over the past few seasons in the big games, he's a proven try scorer and finisher. And then this one was probably my favourite of the game, where he just flicks it out the back door to Cruz Lehman. There was nothing on there, and it's just a ball, firstly from December to Kieran, and then Kieran to Bevan French, out the back door. Johnny on the spot. Cruz Lehman scores the try, and his normal salute for the celebration, but a great angle, the front angle, just sees the ball coming out the back of his hands. And then this was a real team try, but the ball at the end of it, just absolutely on the money. And Abasmiski goes in to score the try. Just when you're defending against Bevan French, you're expecting the run, but his passing game is as good as any in the competition. And the combination of Harry Smith and Bevan French as a 6 and 7, completely different to most. And then at the end of the game, the fatigue took over, and Marshall and Miskett both threatening all day, and it's Miskett who rounds off the game in emphatic fashion, scoring his second of the night. Real unselfish play by Farrell, and the energy by Junior December as well, just to find some shape on the wing, because if he's not there, that dummy can't take place and the try isn't scored. Job well done for Wigan. Really, really balanced side at the moment, running red hot, scoring tries for fun.
Well, let's hear straight away from the, I'm no doubt happy coach, Matty Peters down there as well. Matty, I mean, you must be so proud of that performance today. The second half especially, what do? Do you just sit back and luxuriate as you watch some of those superstars play?
Sometimes I do, yeah.
Well, I do apologise. We seem to have got some technical problems there and we can't hear Matty Pete. So that's a real shame. We are coming right to the end of the programme. These are the results so far in Super League. Warrington 20, Hull KR 8, St Helens big winners against Cass, and Lee big winners against Salford. And in that big winners list is Wigan, 48 points to 6 here, and 36 unanswered points in the second half. Catalan Leeds is coming right up. Don't go anywhere, because that's coming right up, and London against Hull FC tomorrow. And as a result of what we've seen today, Wigan back top of the Super League, St Helens and Warrington level on points, but it's still tight below them. Don't count Huddersfield or Lee out of the race for that top 6 position as well come the playoffs. It's been a fabulous weekend so far. We've got plenty more to look forward to as well, live on Sky Sports. Catalan Leeds coming up next on Sky Sports Arena. London at Hull, Sky Sports action tomorrow. From myself and Kev, very good afternoon to you. We'll see you soon.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.